Alright, let's dive into something that's been making waves lately. And no, it's not another viral dance trend. This one's about politics, rhetoric, and the fine line between free speech and, well, let's just say controversy. So, here's the deal. Madison County Board Chairman Chris Slusser made a Facebook comment suggesting Dr. Anthony Fauci needed a public hanging. Yeah, you heard that right. And now, he's backpedaling, saying it was just rhetorical hyperbole. But is that enough? Let's break this down. First off, what makes this really interesting is the context. We're talking about a public figure using such charged language in a casual online setting. Personally, I think this raises a deeper question. How much responsibility do politicians have for their words, especially when they're not on the campaign trail or in a formal setting? I mean, Facebook isn't exactly a town hall meeting, but it's also not a private diary. What many people don't realize is that words like public hanging carry historical weight. They're not just hyperbolic, they're loaded. So when Slusser says it's just obvious rhetorical hyperbole, I can't help but wonder, is that a cop-out, or is he genuinely unaware of the implications? Now, let's talk about the reaction. The Madison County Democratic Party is calling for his resignation, and honestly, I'm not surprised. In today's political climate, every word is scrutinized, and every misstep is amplified. But here's where it gets tricky. Where do we draw the line between holding someone accountable and canceling them over a poorly phrased comment? From my perspective, the issue isn't just about what Slusser said, it's about the culture of outrage that turns every slip-up into a full-blown scandal. If you take a step back and think about it, this isn't just about one Facebook comment, it's about how we communicate in the digital age. Are we losing the ability to distinguish between a figure of speech and a genuine threat? One thing that immediately stands out is Slusser's defense. He calls it clickbait journalism and dismisses the controversy as overblown. Personally, I think he's partly right. Outrage does drive clicks. But here's the thing, when you're in a position of power, your words carry weight, whether you intend them to or not. A detail I find fascinating is his suggestion that people Google examples of the phrase public hanging used as hyperbole. It's almost like he's trying to normalize the language, but let's be real, it's not that simple. What this really suggests is that we're living in a time where even the most extreme rhetoric can be brushed off as just a figure of speech. And then there's the broader trend here. This isn't an isolated incident. We've seen politicians and public figures use hyperbolic language before, often with little consequence. But what does that say about our discourse? In my opinion, it's a symptom of a bigger problem, the erosion of nuance in public conversation. When everything is either a call to arms or a joke, how do we have meaningful debates? This raises a deeper question. Are we becoming desensitized to extreme language, or are we just too quick to jump on the outrage bandwagon? So, where does this leave us? Personally, I think Slusser's comment was ill-advised, but I'm not convinced it warrants resignation. What makes this really interesting is how it forces us to confront the gray areas of free speech and accountability. If you take a step back and think about it, this isn't just about one man's Facebook post, it's about the state of our public discourse. Are we willing to engage with nuance, or are we content with reducing every issue to a soundbite? What this really suggests is that we need to have a bigger conversation about how we communicate, especially when the stakes are high. Closing thought, maybe the real issue here isn't what Slusser said, but how we react to it. Are we going to keep feeding the outrage machine, or can we start having more thoughtful, nuanced discussions? Personally, I'm hoping for the latter. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below.